Hey guys, and welcome back to another Outriders video. This is going to be a short build video about my first AP Pyro build that I actually managed to get CT15 gold in. Now this build is based on a Damocles' Pyro budget build. I'm going to link the video in a pinned comment down below, so definitely check it out. He did another budget video now as well about another class. Definitely go and have a look. It's absolutely amazing. So he does builds basically where you don't need T3 mods, where you don't need legendary gear, and still can manage to get to that CT15 rank. Now when it comes to the skills and the class points spent, nothing really changed compared to the Pyromancer budget build video. We're just going to put it in here for completeness, but I definitely would recommend you going to check the video out that I have linked in the pinned comment down below. Now Feed the Flames we're using to give us that little bit of heal when we need it, but also it's extremely handy for those flyers, those strix or whatever they're called, to keep them in place when you need it to nuke them down with Heatwave. They can move around a lot sometimes and very hard to aim at. Now Heatwave is of course the centerpiece of this build and does an insane amount of damage, and once you have the Akari set it just gets even crazier. Now Phaser Beam, while very slow to charge and it's on a 10-second cooldown, it does a lot of damage, and if you have a mod that gives it extra oomph on it, you actually can blast through elites extremely quickly. Now the class points spent are mainly focusing on the Firestorm spec, but it is slightly deviating into the Ashbreaker build to get Hot Situation to give us that extra 45% anomaly power when we activate Feed the Flames. Another thing that's really handy is all these magma golems, which give you extra health, are obviously not only good for survivability, but they also increase our anomaly power in total by 12.5%. We're going to get Wildfire, we're decreasing our cooldowns by 10%, and along the way everything is focusing either on more damage or lower cooldowns. A little bit of skill leech here as well, which is really handy because you're gonna have to have 3 heat waves. Well, you don't have to, but you're gonna have at least 2 heat waves with the T1 mods, and it's gonna give you a little bit of heal when you need it. Very, very handy, 2 of them. And then we have Anomalous Lava as well, which increases your armor by 45% for 10 seconds every time you execute a heat wave, and that is what gives you that survivability. This build is so tanky, it is insane. Sometimes you literally can sit there with 2 elites pounding on you in the corner and you just execute your heat waves, heat wave, they just cannot kill you. You just out heal their damage way too fast. Now as you can see, we're no longer running the budget pyro gear setup. We actually advanced a little bit since then. Now when we started in the stream, if you missed the stream, you can check it out on the channel still. When we started off, we had 2 pieces of Akari set, so we replaced them after I think the first run just with all purples. The purples weren't perfect. I had cooldown missing, I had status power missing, I still have actually cooldowns missing on these 2 pieces that are not from the Akari set, but it still worked really, really well and we did a lot of damage. And then we got the last piece of the Akari set, and since then damage just has been insane on Heatwave. It literally doubled compared to previous runs. Now let's start with the weapons. I like to have my LMG, which is like really fully loaded and a lot of ammo in the clip, and then I like to have a really fast gun. Now both guns, I still don't have Fortress or Shadow Comet. I'm still waiting for those legendaries to drop, so once I have them, this is going to be a whole different ball game. So in the meantime, we have Death Chain on both of those guns, which surprised me actually. Death Chain does so much damage, and I think it ended up in the top 3 actually in our CT13 run or CT14 run in the stream. It was absolutely insane. So thanks again for you guys to point that out, that mod, and told me literally to put it on. So Ultimate Storm Whip is another mod which I find really handy, especially with those flyers. The flyers are really hard to get down if you can't reach them with Feed the Flames, or if you can't reach them with your heat wave. This really, really helps. But again, once you have Fortress and Shadow Comet, that's really what you want. Now when it comes to the gear, we are running with the Akari set, and I would recommend the helmet, the chest, and the pants. I haven't seen the shoes yet, but we did get the gloves before we got the pants, and you can see they have max health and skill life leech, which is awful in general for the build we want to run. Because we want anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and status power, but it also comes with some really weird mods which didn't help me at all for what I wanted them for, and extra weapon damage was just not something I was interested in. The other mod wasn't interesting either. We replaced that straight away. So yeah, I definitely didn't find that useful. So I'm going with the helmet, which I'm running with Fire Tsunami that comes on by default, and then the second mod I replaced with Burnout to get that extra 25% damage for 8 seconds. Now when it comes to the chest, we replaced the top mod with Inferno Wave to give us that extra damage on Heat Wave, and we've seen that we have 3 heat waves that we're going to be running. It's going to be 38,000 damage every single time. And then then we have Tidal Wave, which gives us that extra 1 activation as well. Now when it comes to the pants, it comes with Anomaly Echo. It grants you an extra 11,484 anomaly power on skill activation for 15 seconds. I don't think it stacks with this 3. I'm not sure. I don't think they go like 11,000 then 22,000. I think it will just be the 11,000 for 15 seconds. And then we put Captain Hunter. Now Captain Hunter is, you either need it or you don't. Yeah, so if you feel like you're burning through the elites fast enough and you have enough power from your gear, then sure. If you have Fortress and Shadow Combat, we probably don't need it, and we might have that instead, and then we can replace this with something more powerful for general damage. But right now Captain Hunter was for me a very good choice, and it does a lot of damage and gets me to get that Brood Mother down really quickly. Now when it comes to the gloves, we're just running basic epics: Anomaly Power, Status Power, preferably cooldown reduction, but sadly we didn't get that roll yet. So Ride the Waves gives us that extra execution on heat waves, so we have 3 heat waves basically that we can execute in a row, and then we have Twice as Hot. Now Twice as Hot is an absolute amazing skill that I overlooked so many times and then was amazed how much damage it does when you use it, because it doesn't only execute on your skills like Feed the Flames and Heat Wave and Phaser Beam, it actually executes as well on melee. So if you have set everything on fire in front of you and you're fighting these strong kind of mobs and elites at the same time that don't die immediately after your 3 heat waves, you have everything on cooldown and you're swapping between your weapons to melt them down. In the meantime, while your cooldowns are running, keep throwing in that melee. It's an absolute amazing amount of damage. Twice as Hot shows up very high up on the ranking list in the end if you keep rotating your melee in between the cooldowns. Now when it comes to the boots, they're rolled with Seismic Impulse, and Seismic Impulse is amazing. Every 6 seconds, boom, they're nearly 100k damage, so you don't really have to worry about the little critters too much. Yeah, you do your heat waves, but whatever is left is gonna die as soon as it gets close to you, and you can just completely focus on the bosses and the elites and get really close into the bosses' faces, because that is additional damage of 100k that you don't want to miss out on. Now we do run with Emergency Stance. That is the only defensive mod I could think of right now. I know with the DPS side, when we play in the firepower build, we have, I think it's called Bloodlust, where you aim down the sight and you get extra armor on kill shots. I'm not sure if there's anything equivalent yet. I haven't found anything useful. There might be a T3 mod opening up that gives us extra armor similar to that maybe on the firepower build, but in the meantime Emergency Stance works just fine, so we're going to be running with that. Now I was stuck on the firepower build forever, and we were able to do CT15 gold, but I was grinding CT13 reliably to get those legendaries, to get that those pods, to upgrade my gear. But I was under the illusion that you had to get all the Ikari sets, all the legendaries, get Shadow Comet, get Fortress before you even can get into the AP builds, but that's not true. So I'm really glad I came across that Pyromancer budget build video. And again, as a reminder, I have it linked in the pinned comment down below, so go check it out. And for me, it was an absolute game changer. I hope it will definitely help you out as well if you're stuck and you want to get into AP. So I'm gonna leave you with some more gameplay now of an Arcways of Enoch run, so you can see actually how much fun this build can be. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, remember to kick that like button in the balls, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, as always, viel Spaß and happy gaming.